Well, hey everyone, Paul here. Welcome back to the shop. And today I'm going to make a cane just like this one. I made this one for my mom and turned out really well, and I just thought others might be interested in this design, and so I thought I'd walk you through the steps and make another one. So 3 things I think that you need to keep in mind when making a cane. One, the height of the cane is critical. So what I did with this one was measured my mom's existing cane. So that made it really easy. She said she liked the height of it. But a general rule of thumb guideline with canes is that you would take the person's height in inches and divide it by 2, and that should get you into the ballpark, plus or minus a ½ inch. And so the one that I'm going to make today, I'm going to make it for a person my height. So I'm 72 inches tall, so I'm going to make it a total of 36 inches, including the tip. The second thing to keep in mind is the strength of this joint is going to be really super critical. So I've looked at some different designs, not crazy about the way that a lot of them are formed, and so I came up with a joint here that is very simple, and I think you'll really like it, and it's going to be super strong, way more durable than it would have to be. And that's what you want when you're putting this in the hand of a loved one. You want that joint to be something you can sleep good at night, not worry about. And then finally, you're going to want a good non-slip pad on the bottom of that. So I'm going to show you a couple things. One, I'll provide a link to this one that I found, which is just perfect. Very soft rubber grip and slides on nicely. And I'll show you how to fit that perfectly onto the end of your cane. So one thing about this cane, so I thought about making a turned cane, and I decided to not do that for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to engrave on it, and I wanted a bigger, flatter surface for laser engraving. But also just like the design possibilities that this gave me. So came up with this kind of wood sandwich. I've got cherry on the outside and walnut on the inside. And then the handle is a curly, like a super curly soft maple. So anyway, I'm going to walk you through the steps of how I made this, and hopefully you'll take this on. And the first step is to glue up the strips that form the shaft. So these are 1¼ inch wide. I've got cherry on the outside, walnut on the inside. And the center strip, the walnut, is 2½ inches longer than the outside strip. So this is going to form the tenon that is going to go up into the handle. So that nice continuous stretch is going to give it a lot of strength. Thickness wise, the middle piece is 5/16 and the outside pieces are 3/8 of an inch thick. So I'm just going to glue this up and put a lot of clamping pressure on it so that you get a nice seamless appearance. It's going to be really important to get these end pieces lined up properly. So the first clamp is going to be on that end. Just going to go kind of gentle at first. All right, next I'm going to trace out the handle pieces. And so I found this as a download on the internet. There's different ones out there that you can choose from. I like this shape. You can Google around and see what you like. Come up with a design that is pleasing to you. So I made just a little plywood template from this, and I'm gonna just trace this out. Now, one thing I found on the first one is I want a little bit wider. I want to end up with about 1¼ inch base rather than this template being a 1 inch. So I'm going to flare it out as I get down to that the stem portion of it. So this is then I'm just tracing out the walnut inner piece of the handle as well. I just trace the tenon onto the inside handle piece. And that's a little extra depth, giving the glue someplace to go. All right, the most important thing on this glue up is to get that base to all line up. Before I glue the handle on, I want to taper the ends of the shaft down to 3/4 of an inch to accommodate the tip on the end. So I drew lines, bringing that down to 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to just use a hand plane. You could use a band saw, you could use a belt sander. This is a small amount of stock to remove, so I like to just do that with a hand plane. All right, that's getting pretty close. I'm going to flip it over and start working on the other side now. Only remaining step is to put the pad on the bottom, which it's a snug fit, and it should be. And then just put a little weight on it, make sure it locks down, bottoms out. All right, that wraps this one up. Hopefully you've got a good recipient in mind and you can go out and build one of these canes. Let me know down below if you have questions, and I hope you'll subscribe and like and come on back for woodworking, wood turning, and DIY related stuff. Thanks again for watching.